Notes from my April 2024 reading of Slow Getting Up by Nate Jackson. So this is the book, 2013 HarperCollins First Edition hardcover. Put the ISBN in the video description. Genre is autobiography / memoir. It fills in a little bit of backstory, but not a whole lot. And on this channel, I've defined memoir in the past as kind of like focusing in on a time period of one's life, not necessarily the whole thing, but it's still kind of like an autobiography. So for my classifications, it was shelved in nonfiction, though some autobiographies and memoirs are. Like, this is a copy from the King County Library System at my home library, Richmond Beach Library, 0.8 miles that way, via the roads. No, and/or walking. Well, yeah, and/or, because I'd be driving or walking. And I started the book on Wednesday, 17 April 2024, and finished the book today, Tuesday, 23 April 2024, so 7 days. Is that 245 pages, including the About the Author page. And is there anything else I need? The guy, so it's an autobiography / memoir of Nate Jackson by Nate Jackson. And the sport, so it's a sports autobiography / memoir, American football, National Football League, and some Ultimate Football League, NFL and UFL. So there we go. So it's the introduction. Let's do book notes, including construction and design. So I like it. I like the exterior. I like the color scheme. So I think he grows to like the color scheme of the Denver Broncos and the 81 jersey and stuff. I like the depiction of him. You know, like he is a very woke writer. Kind of rhymes a bit with the book I've previously read, I Am Number 8 by John W. Gray III. Both autobiographers are very woke individuals. Not that the others I've covered haven't been, just like if there's like a standard for woke, is kind of like two that stand out. That I've done book / reading notes videos for. And so, at least as of current, this is when I'm filming this, Tuesday, 23 April 2024. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers. And there's a little bit of a synopsis of the book on the inside of the front cover, and then a little bit about the author on the inside back cover. And then formatting, I liked the pages were thicker. The font was a little bigger, but it worked for the page. The page size was a little bigger. It wasn't big font. Like, it might have been size 12 font, actually. But, like, sometimes I get used to reading 10 and 11 font, so like, it felt like I enjoyed the formatting for the, like, dialogue, so to speak. Like, where it's a back and forth between characters, where it dashes, as opposed to the quotation marks style of a lot of books. So we deviated, got creative, did that. And I thought that I liked that. It made it very clear that it was like a dialogue passage. There was a little bit of, yeah. So this is right. This is about book design and author name and name of the book. For the top, sometimes that's like name of the book and name of the chapter, and sometimes name of the author and name of the chapter. So this was the book and the author, and then the page numbers are at the top instead of the bottom of the page. It was a good amount of text per page. Yes. Okay. So reading notes, I have, I think, 5 sticky marks, and then a general note. Let's see. He was a cool dude in terms of background. He said he did not actually play football, American football, until high school. That was the first time he played football, American football. He did play the other football, soccer, before high school, and he was a swimmer. He swam competitively and played soccer, and then in high school decided to start football. I was like, I had to mention that. All right, that's my running career. Essentially, I in terms of competition, I was a swimmer, I was a runner. Sorry, I was a swimmer, I was a soccer player, and then I competed in running track and field in high school. That was when I started the competition. I didn't do it before then, did it then. And so I was like, that's cool, he's like me. In that sense of the sport he stuck with is the one that came in at high school competition level. Nothing before that. So it's like, it's pretty cool. We're abnormal. Okay. So, yeah. Then another note was he talks about, and injuries are kind of a norm in the National Football League, and he was talking about how some people kind of dilly-dallied after they got an injury. So there's injury, and to fix the injury is something called rehabilitation. So injury and rehab cycles, and some of the players would kind of dilly-dally or dawdle. They kind of lag a little bit in they become too comfortable with the rehabilitation. So some of the NFL workers would kind of be like, put pressure on them to get back on the field. And I was like, yeah, that's true when it's your job and they're paying you. They want you back out on the field is in a working condition. Not necessarily if you're like, can't do your position, right? So they want you like a twofold of wanting you to be able to play and out on the field or ready to be on the field. And so they actually implemented pressure on the people who were delaying in getting stuff done, and getting themselves rehabilitated and out on the field. And it kind of came across, he wasn't one of those guys. Kind of came across throughout the book, he was kind of like, why aren't you firing me? And then he figures out, I mean, this is page 95, 96, where he kind of talks about this, and it's like, he figures out, well, I'm not being fired in part because I'm not one of those people who doesn't want to play, right? And they might say they want to play, but actions speak louder than words if one's dilly-dallying on the rehabilitation kind of thing. Okay, let's see. Oh, then he makes a comment later, this is about page 143, about how it was very timely. So this book was published in 2013, and he makes a note about how big money does not, the norm is not for that to come with physical ability. And so he was talking about kind of I think a bit of he got big money, so to speak, because of his physical ability and his size and stuff. And so, you know, men, you know, it unnerves some people and nerves other people, kind of thing, right? It's definitely not the social norm of go get that engineering job or that nutritionist job or that business job or that computer programmer job where it's a 6-figure salary, right? This is a whole lot harder than that. A whole lot fewer people can do this, right? So not the norm by any means. Physical ability as the performance metric. So I thought that was weird. I noted that. Okay, and I'm noting it here. Then let's see. Oh, I thought he made an interesting comment about how he was at a mini camp and the newbies, he uses a different term, I can call them newbies, are writing down like everything the people are saying in mini camps, and he's like, they don't need to do that, it seeps in anyway. And it was kind of like, but to them, I was like, that's called sticking around for a while. So he makes it 6 seasons in the NFL, and he points out the average is 3. So he made it double the average, right, without ever playing football before high school, and he played Division III in college, right? So this is like a true, if we wanted like a true success story, it was a true success story. He wasn't some football prodigy as a 5-year-old who went on to play Division I NCAA. No, this guy had to work for what he got. Right? Of course I'm selling this. I'm somebody who didn't start competing and running until high school too, you know? And I didn't even play NCAA in college. Okay, so division nobody. And so but I was like I gotta just, these people, the newbies, they might not make it as long as he did. So while he has the time for him to soak it all in, the newbies might not if they get let go the next week, right? They need those notes to study out. So it was like there's a little bit of a, from his perspective, that might seem like what they're doing is a waste of time, but you know, if they're let go the next week, thank God they took those notes and at least tried to make it as speedily through as possible. So I was like, I started as a teaching assistant at 13 years of age. The biggest class I've been a teaching assistant for was over 300 students at the University of California, Berkeley in oceanography. But I have teaching experience in aquatic sports and science and stuff. So it's just the teacher and me being like, what might not work for you? There's time pressure and everybody has different schedules. So, you know, the teacher and me was like, excuse me, sir. I'm being an old prude. Okay, and then I should bring up, and then once I'd rolled up, the UFL and the NFL, United Football League versus National Football League. Of the two, I gotta say, his experience with the United Football League probably makes him the most NBA. No, what's the NBA? I don't even know what sport that is. National Baseball Association? Okay, so... yeah, he talks about how it was trying to like steal some of the thunder of the NFL. That's page 220 of the NFL. And I was just like, well, it's definitely more amusing. And as a road runner, I have more respect for the United Football League as presented in this book because of the weather conditions and the mosquito conditions and lack of equipment conditions. I'm like, that sounds like real life. So yeah, it was like, it's good to know there's an alternative to the National Football League, especially if one wants to get like the nitty gritty, the people with true grit, you know, go United Football League, not National Football League. This is the United States of America, American football. General comments. Yes, he does something in here that I thought, I was like, if I write an autobiography someday, I should do as well. He takes an approach with stadiums. A lot of them are named, like, companies pay to have their name on the stadium. So what he does is kind of like a insert brand name here or stuff like that when he's going and traveling to a stadium. And it's like, oh, well, I'm not paid, right? So I'm not going to put it in. I'm not that company's spokesperson. And so I was like, it rhymes with, for college orientation, there were 2 institutions I spent more than 1 year at, and I transferred out of or quit. And at the orientation, they were like, you must, to publish with our name in it, you must seek our written approval in advance of publishing. I was like, well, since I didn't stay with you guys and I was harassed and discriminated against on campus at both of those institutions, maybe I should take that approach, right? Not even put the institution name in because that's what they requested, right? I'm not going to go ask for permission to put a name in for somebody who harassed me and discriminated against me. You lost that, right? By allowing that to happen in the first place. And it's been over 4 years later, you know, and over a decade later from when. So it's kind of like the end of that autobiography, if it comes to be, is already passed. At least I put it in my journal. So I'm like, not only was it not accurately like addressed at the time, there's been zero effort over a decade later and over 4 years later, and like by the end of the book, zero effort was made. So it's like, just strip them of their university name. That's what they wanted anyway, right? Don't need written approval when I didn't put the name of the university. It's all about maintaining an image. And I was like, well, then you should have thought about that before you allowed the harassment and discrimination. I was like, and maybe I'd do that for YouTube too. Instead of putting the name YouTube, put video sharing platform, right? Because they've given me no warnings and then age restricted to, and removed one of my videos. So be like, you know what? I'll return the favor since you don't want me. If the video sharing platform even makes the book, right, is remove the name because they removed me 3 times without warning. Do I want to be further attacked by the organization and institution? No. She's just being smart, being wise. I thought he did a spectacular job of that, of just being smart, right? If these people are attacking you, or money mongers, all gold digging skinks, you know, just cut them off and don't put the name. So there we go. That's my conclusion. Those are my notes. Happy April 2024.